Test 1 2 3. Alright guys, what's up? It's Francisco, your good old host. Gonna rant to you about good old vid'ya today. Today we're talking about Mass Effect. I'm gonna tell you why you should play this by telling you what happens in it in the most condensed way possible. So let's start. First off, as any RPG game, you get thrown into a character creator. And in your character creator, you gotta choose who your Commander Shepard really is. Fem Shep, Male Shep, Earth Shep, Colony Shep, Vagabond Shep. Make your choice. And then you get to choose what your class is. There's three main ones. You got your soldier, you got your techie, and you got your Jedi. Biotics. And then now you're in the game. You get a nice little overview of the Mass Effect universe. And you're introduced to your Shepard. You realize you got this mission because you're told that you have this mission to go to this colony that's been attacked by a giant cuttlefish. So you show up, you got this guy, a Turian, watching your back, kind of ahead of you. So you gotta get up to him so that you can find out what happened on this planet. And so you do that. You show up. Turns out your buddy got shot, and now you have to chase this guy, Saren, because the last thing Saren did was find this beacon. And now you guys found the beacon, but there's no Saren. So what's going on? Then you go in the way of Ashley so that she doesn't get the visions, and you take the visions. You have a vision, and then you wake up 14 days later, I think, and you're showing up to the Citadel, the galactic center of your galaxy civilizations. So now you have Ashley and two dead bodies in your ship, and you have to come up to the council in the Citadel and tell them what happened. And so you dock after a beautifully cinematic establishing shot of the Citadel, and then you're introduced to Udina, the Politico. So now you have your army guy and your Politico, and you have your Shepard. Let's go to the Citadel Council. And in the Citadel Council, they tell you, you're wrong, dude. Nothing really happened. Screw you. And so you have to find some hints and tips on the Citadel from other aliens. And as soon as you have a crew of aliens, you have enough information, you come up to the council and you're like, hey, we have proof. They're like, guess you're a Spectre now, dude. Go be a Spectre in the galaxy. So after this heavy front load of lore and hand-holding, you finally get to explore the galaxy. And so you're greeted with about 12 systems that you can go to, with at least 2 solar systems in them. So you have a lot to check out. What we're going to do is we're going to go straight to the meat and bones. You're going to head over to the other human colony that's in distress. So you go to this distressed colony and you fight more Geth, more technological fodder. So you show up, and they tell you that they're in trouble, so you're like, nah, not anymore. And so then you help them get out of trouble, and then you find out that they're actually being controlled by a plant that's been spread by the people that they came here to help. Assholes. And so you help these exogeny guys take care of the problem they started. And when you get there, you find out that this is where Saren was and did something, because now this giant speaking plant is threatening you because he has a pact with Saren Boy. And so now you have to hit all its nerves with some carefully placed insults, because you shoot every clone that he makes. And then you beat it. And then once you beat it, the Asari that he had hostage is birthed out of its little cocoon, and she's like, I am now the presence of the Thorian. I am the Thorian. You're like, cool, so what can you tell me? And then she just magic mind melds, and it's now you know everything they know. And she just sticks around at the colony to help out. You're like, cool. And so then you leave, and you go to the next planet. The next planet is where you find some more bugs. You just fought some talking plants. You're gonna fight some bugs. But not before you have to do some other stuff. And so then you fight some guys for another guy, and then you help this guy get got by this chick. After you talk to the guy that made you do stuff, you're like, alright, can I go do the mission now? And then they let you go. And then you have to fight some Geth on a long road again. And then you get to the base, and you're introduced to some Geth and Rachni. And so you fight the Geth, the Rachni, and the little mercenaries, and then you go through the little lab, and you find some guys that tell you, hey, we're holed up here, what's going on, can you help us? And you're like, yeah, I saved your power system, what's up? They're like, alright, can you go do things? And so you go to this new area that's been unlocked to you, the hot labs. There's one single Russian dude in there. He's like, I don't know, dude, I think we gotta set off the nuke. You're like, alright, I'm gonna go set off the nuke. You figure out that you gotta actually get some codes from this guy, so you come back, and instead of getting the codes, this little Rachni guy stabs him through the heart and gives them to you. So you have to go and get the nuke started, and as soon as that happens, a bunch of bugs show up. A bunch more Rachni. So you have to run through here so that you can fight some more guys, because now they don't like you for some reason. Some more Rachni and some more mercenaries. After you find the right way to go, you're introduced to the chick that's helping Saren, Matriarch Benezia. She's like, I'm here to take care of the queen, and you're gonna die. And you're like, you must die. And so then she shoots off her commandos on you, but after you beat them, she's like, alright, you must die. And so you have to shoot her out. Finally, because she's beaten up beforehand, she let you know that Saren is doing stuff to get people on his side, and you're like, alright, can you do anything? And then she's like, no, I must die. And then she dies. And then you're looking at this giant bug, but all of a sudden Benezia's up again. You're like, what's going on? And she starts talking in some whack ass verbiage, saying something about music and stuff. And then you tell her, alright, will you stop talking if I let this bug go? She's like, yes, please. And you're like, I'm gonna let the bug go. Everyone behind you talks shit, but whatever, you're the commander. And so then the bug leaves, and then Benezia finally dies, and then you can finally leave to the very last mission that matters. And you go to pick up Liara, Benezia's daughter. What timing, because now there's no mom in the way. So you come up to this other planet, it's the lava planet. It's the lava planet. And you go through this little maze of a map. You have to get some doors open, and finally you can get to this fighting area. So you fight some more Geth, and then you go into this mining shaft, and you find sweet old Liara crucified in magic, and she tells you, "You are hallucination. I'm not getting my hopes up. Please get me out." You're like, okay. Okay, blue chick's gone a little nuts. I'ma try to get her out. And she's like, bye, hallucinations. And you're like, hold on. I'ma laser this bitch. And so you make a giant hole so you could just go up behind her. So you go up behind her and unlock the thing, because I think it was some sort of barrier. She barriered herself. And now you gotta get out. And on your way out, there's a bunch of Geth and mercenaries. So you fight those guys. And then you leave. Joker gives you a joke or two. And then you guys have to talk in the briefing room. So your whole squad is there and you're talking. And then Ashley opens her mouth and says something stupid, as always. And you tell her to sit down, because you're about to have mind sex with your new blue chick. So you guys have mind sex, and you're like, we know what we gotta do. We're gonna go and help some random Solarians, because the Citadel said that they sent a distress. Let's go check that out. So you come in to the water planet, you land, and then you're supposed to save Joker from the AAs. So you're supposed to go around and turn off the AAs. So you do that, and then Joker's like, got a little issue, Commander. Getting some conflicting commands. Can you show up? And you're like, alright, hold on, I'm just around the corner. And so you finally turn the corner. You see your whole crew in the Normandy, and you guys are grounded. So you have to come up to the tents of Solarians and ask, hey, what's going on? And then Commander Kiriki is like, yeah, who the hell are you? And you're like, I'm the cavalry. And he's like, but I asked for a fleet. I need a lot of people. And you're like, is 9 people alright? They're like, no, we're gonna die. You're like, no. And it's like, yes, we are, because Saren here, he's trying to cure the genophage on the Krogan. And you're like, what? And then Rex shows up, he's like, what? And then they're both like, hold on. We don't know what's going on. We just know that what he's trying to do. And then Rex and Kiriki have a little bout, and then he walks away. And he's like, I hope he's not a problem. And you're like, I hope you're not a problem. He's like, what? And so you walk off to try to talk to Rex. So you talk to Rex a bit. And then Ashley takes matters in her own hands and shoots your boy Rex in the back of the head without you asking. And so you're like, alright, it's time to go. So you talk to Kiriki. He's like, can we get help? You're like, yeah, you can take Ashley. He's like, okay. Caden says something, but you're like, no. I am the commander. And so you start the mission, and you fight a bunch of Geth again. and then some mercenaries, and some husks. And you find the end of the science bay, the lab, if you will. You talk to another Asari, you tell her to go home because it's about to nuke. So you go downstairs, you find another beacon, get more visions, and then everything turns red for a bit, so you have to talk to this giant cuttlefish. He tells you that he is alive. You're like, that's not possible. He's like, but it is. And he's like, but how is that possible? And then he cuts out, and then you have to go finish the mission. And so you go meet up with your boy Caden. And Caden's like, hey, I got the nuke ready, but things are happening because Ashley just let everyone die. You're like, alright, I'm gonna go help her. So on your way there, then Caden gets shot up. You're like, I don't want my guy who's in front of a nuke to get shot up. I'm gonna go help up my nuke guy. And Ashley's like, okay. And so you just head over back. And then Saren shows up and you guys punch a little bit. And then you head back to the Normandy to leave to the Citadel and tell the Citadel Council what just happened. They're like, we're gonna defend all of the mass relays except the one that you're asking us to defend at, because that's in war zone area. We're not gonna do that. We're also grounding you because we don't want you to take matters into your own hand and do something. And Udina agrees with these guys. So you get a call from Anderson to meet him at the bar. And so you guys meet up at the bar. And he tells you that he's got this beautiful plan to raid CSEC so that you can get power to your ship and get out. And after careful decisions, he decides to punch Udina instead and take his computer. And so then you get your power that way. And now that you're powerful Commander Shepard again, you're on your Normandy ship and you head your way over to Ilos, to where Saren is, to find the conduit. And you're stuck behind a wall for a while because Saren closed the door on you and he doesn't like solicitors. So you find the hidden key and you're greeted with this corrupted VR. And he gives you some garbled message. Nobody understands it but you, so you're like, what's going on? Is this the Protheans? And so you go downstairs and go over, and then you find your way out and back to the door. And you're able to go through the door. So you go down a long tunnel again, just to be stopped at another door. And you have to go into another small door and down an elevator, where you're met with your VI buddy. Forget his name. But he adds so much weight to what you've done. And it's at such a late point in the game, basically the end. And everything that you've done finally makes some sort of sense. And you're given even more. You're like, whoa. This is some cool stuff. And so after you get all the deets, turns out the conduit is a mass relay straight into the Citadel. And you're like, alright, I'm going to do that because Saren just did that. And that's probably a good idea. And the conduit guy's like, yeah, you should probably do that. And so you're like, do you have any other information? He's like, yeah, all this. Like, alright, well, I'm going to go take care of Saren then. Because that's what I started doing. And so you go out and Liara stays back to say something about science, and then you go back up the elevator into the Mako tank, and you can finally go to the conduit. You go to the conduit, and there's a bunch of Geth, of course. So you gotta dodge and weave, and you get onto the mass relay, and boom! You're in the Citadel. And the Citadel's going nuts. Everything's on fire, stuff's destroyed, and you gotta get your way to the Citadel Council, because that's probably where Saren's gonna be. So you go up the elevator, and then you shoot out of the elevator so that you can walk on the side of the Citadel. And after destroying a Geth drop ship, you finally get to the Council Tower, and you're met with Saren. And you guys exchange some words, and you're given some unusable dialogue options. And then you guys start fighting. And so you guys are fighting, and then Joker's asking you to do stuff, and finally you shoot Saren a bit, that he falls and gets stabbed. And then some stuff happens with a bunch of spaceships, and Sovereign decides, I'm taking direct control. And then Saren becomes into a giant lizard that you have to shoot, but he's freaky fast, and you're gonna still tell Joker to do some stuff in the middle of this. And finally, as you kill Saren's robo body, and the Normandy destroys Sovereign, you beat the game. But because the Normandy set a bomb off on Sovereign, there was some debris, and some of that debris goes straight at you. And that's what happens in Mass Effect. Why should you play this now that you know the game? Because BioWare cared in this game. They had a bunch of scenes that integrated with the gameplay. There was so much stuff you could do with your squad, with your equipment, your leveling. You can just do everything. And then literally anything someone said, you would probably have a mission to do. I finished the game in 10 hours. You could probably finish this in like 50 hours and have a blast. There's so much you could do. It just adds to what you can choose to do in the game. So the longer you play, the more choices you'll actually have. So if that fancies you, try it out. Other than that, it's just aesthetically beautiful. It's cinematic, to say the least. And it's just a blast to play. Blast people away from me, guys. That's all I gotta say about Mass Effect. Try it out. Thanks, guys.